I worked at the Allen mine. Started there in 1972, and then I went down to the Maxwell mine, and then it changed names, the Golden Eagle, and those. And I was did all kinds of jobs there.
So you were able to do various jobs in each of those coal mines?
Yes.
So you learned a little bit of all the jobs, Robert?
Yeah. When I started, I was a laborer on the graveyard shift at the Allen mine. When I started working in the coal mine, and then I signed for a pipeman job. I got a pipeman job on day shift. Went day shift, and then from there, steel beam and timber, different jobs like that, roof bolter, shuttle car operator, hoistman. Like I say, I did a lot of jobs.
So you learned a little bit about all the aspects of mining, coal mining?
Yeah, yeah. In the mine, you have to learn quite a different jobs because you're not always in production. When things go down, you got to do whatever they tell you. So you have to learn a lot of jobs.
So you were many hats there at the mine.
Yeah.
Okay. Did your family, Robert, come here from another country or another place to work? Were they always native to Trinidad or Los Angeles County?
My great-grandfather came from Naples, Italy, came over here. He was a rancher. And then on my dad's side of the family, most of them came from like the Mora area, Taos area, and they slowly migrated up to Trinidad. And that's where we're staying now.
Okay, so did the family then work the coal mines? Grandfather, brothers,
Let's
uncles?
see. My grandfather worked for a real short period of time in the coal mines, and then I think I'm the one that worked the longest in the coal mine. He didn't work very long in the coal mine. He didn't like it. My wife, on the other side, her family was all into the coal. There's a long history of coal mining there.
Okay. And Robert, did you and your family get educated here locally with the public or the parochial school system here?
We went to school in Primero. It's about 20 miles west of Trinidad, and that's where we grew up, and that's where the coal mines were, up in that area. And we got educated there, graduated out of Primero High School, went to the junior college, and then got a BA in social science, and from here and in Pueblo, finished off in Pueblo.
So consequently, did all the family stay here and live here until maybe it was time they went off to college, or did they basically move like when the mines closed?
When the mines closed, we stayed here, and we still continued to raise our family, and we got different other jobs, various jobs, and then when I have 3 daughters. When they became of age, they went to different colleges, and I have one that lives here in town, and one north of Denver, and one in Pueblo.
So part of your family remains here then, Robert?
Yes, yeah, a lot of my cousins, and because we got a big family here. My sister lives here, and those type of things, aunts and uncles.
Now, in the younger days, did families then partake in the activities in the community, like the different recreational things that took place in the community, the churches, local churches, anything that had to do with that was family oriented?
Yeah, my father-in-law, he owned the West Side Inn, and they had a lot of weddings there, and we had our wedding there, and we had the traditional like Spanish wedding, and we did all the wedding march and all those kind of things that the Spanish heritage kind of adopted, and we did those. And then my daughters had the same kind of wedding and went through the same kind of ceremonies, and then in the community itself, we're involved in like we went to the theaters, all the theater kind of groups that they had here. They had to drag me into the theater because I didn't really like it. I didn't want to go, but after I saw my first play, I was like hooked. Saw Les Mis, and that kind of hooked me. And then after that, we've been going to plays all the time. A lot of them aren't here. A lot of them we have to travel to Pueblo or Denver to see those.
So entertainment in the theater.
Yeah, and I think that's about it, other than just meeting with people, yeah.
Okay, tradition then and culture, and in terms of what's been inherited and what's enjoyed, like the music, the food, and tradition, was all a part of the community then, and that involved the families.
Yeah, for me, the strong part about the culture seems to be on the wife's part. She seems to hold the culture of all the family things together herself. She passes on the food traditions, the beans and the chili, that makes the sopapillas, makes the tortillas, makes jelly, choke cherry jelly. She does all those with the Christmas traditions of the empanaditas and those type of things. She carries it on, and it seems to be locally the women's just kind of fell into carrying on the traditions, where the men are involved in them, but not like the mother and us. So we carry on all those, and those are make wine and those type of things. I make the wine, and she doesn't make the wine.
But that's okay. At least tradition follows with the generations, and so your daughters will probably teach their daughters or children, and the tradition will carry on. Yeah,
she's kind of made a point of wanting to pass on something she wants to pass on, especially the choke cherry jelly making part, because that's not too much interest there, but she encourages them. She taught them all how to make tortillas and sopapillas and that kind of thing.
So tradition in all families, from the previous interview, is prevalent, and still today. Tell me about your family now. Are they all? You just said a little bit about them a while ago. Did they have a hard time with your working in the coal mine, since it is a hazardous job, and was there a fear about you going into the mine?
My family's position on the fear part of me working in the coal mine was mostly my wife's. I think she always worried, especially when she got calls at night from work when different things, or they closed the mine for some reason, and she'd be always worried. My daughters had a concern, but not as much as my wife did. So yeah, they didn't. Working with it was okay, and a lot of the men here worked in the coal mines in those days, and so all their friends had family that worked in the coal mines.
How do you think that we've changed over time, Trinidad and our county, Los Angeles County? Do you think it's changed?
It's changed quite a bit. When the coal mines finally did close, a lot of the people moved off. Some of us stayed here, and other people started moving in to the community, and their influence seemed to have changed a lot of like city government and county government and those type of things, and we were just used to it being a certain way, and they were bringing in different ideas, and the town seems to be going that way now, because there is not much here in these small towns anymore.
So coal was a mainstay for the community for many years, was the lifeblood of our county and our city in the beginning.
Yeah, I
And
think,
up until,
I think when the coal mines were active, I remember we had somewhere near 600 coal miners at the Allen mine by itself. And in those days, we weren't actually in the coal business. We were in the steel business. All our coal went for making steel. It wasn't like we're shipping coal to power plants or anything like that. And then when CF&I finally closed, our coal, we didn't have a place to ship our coal. We had to start finding buyers for coal. And that's when we came into the coal business. Like I said, we're making steel.
extracting coal for a different purpose.
Yeah, our coal was for coke, and they add the coke into the steel, and make different alloys, and they burn the coal, and then they put it out, and then they use that carbon to add to the iron and to make different alloys of steel. That was in Pueblo.
Going back a little bit, Robert, did the family or any of the families live in like the little coal camps? I don't know if you remember that far back or not. Like your great grandfather, because there were coal camps in New Mexico. In Mora, I don't know. I'm thinking yes, but do you remember any of that kind of life or your families talking about that back then?
The only thing I remember about the coal camps was just the ruins, because around here we have a lot of ruins. Valdez, there was, when I first moved here, or when I moved down from Vigil to Segundo, they had still some ruins that were left, and then the ones by Cokedale, or the coke ovens that were there, were part of that. And then Burro Canyon, and there's another canyon up there. They have a lot of ruins, a lot of foundations, a lot of places. They have markers on a lot of the old mines and how many people were still buried in some of them mines and things like that, So that was the part that I came in on when I graduated.
Sometimes they would talk about it, and it's like, to us it would be like learning about it more so from what they talked about, the stories they told.
Oh.
If they worked, and lived in the coal camps from way back. Okay, let's see over here. Did you went to the schools locally, and the girls did with honors?
Yeah, like I said, I graduated at Primero, and so did my wife, and my daughters graduated out of Trinidad High, and then they went on to college and got degrees, and one is a RN, and one works with I'm trying to think of the word, when at the airports, air traffic controller. She's air traffic controller. Yeah. And the other one, she does a lot of church work. Yeah.
Now, when you were young and growing up, were you having to help like plant or tend to a garden or do any of the laundry with like an old laundry machine and that kind of thing?
Yeah, we had the one with the rollers on it.
Yeah.
And in ours, we had to bring, we only had one spigot coming out of the floor. And from there you would get the water and heat it on the stove, heat it from there, then put it into the wash machine that had those little roller things and things like that. And to take the bath, we had one of those metal bathtubs where you had to heat the water on the stove as well. Then finally we got a hot water heater later on. But yeah, we had this old house that didn't have much.
Adobe made?
Yeah, it was adobe. The bathroom was still outside, all those kind of things when we were young. When we got older, like we were 18, went into a different house and had all the conveniences, you know, running water and bathroom inside and bath showers and all that kind of stuff, hot water heaters. But when we were young, we didn't have that.
No, the folks are starting now, so it was hard getting going. Do you come from a large family, Robert?
Now I have 4 sisters, and then the relatives are big.
So you're rich in extended family.
Yeah, we have a bunch of family, and we try to keep in contact and do all those family type of things to just to stay in contact,
Yeah.
or else we lose contact and we don't see each other for years and years except for funerals.
I think all that too goes back to the traditional kinds of family things that was a must with families. You know, you ate together, you shared holidays together. You know, if it was all possible, keeping the family together.
Yeah, it seemed like the evening dinner was a big thing, and my families and my daughters, they still have the dinner at the table and all that kind of thing. And when we were growing up, we did a lot of camping and hunting and those type of things. And now my daughters, they're into camping and hunting and all that as well.
Nice. So they're good with the outdoors. That's great.
Yeah, they like the outdoors.
Okay. So did you at all live in the company homes ever in Valdez or Segundo? I know there were lines of company homes, but I don't know if.
No, I didn't live in those, and my wife didn't live. She lived outside of those. So Dad had a liquor, the West Side Inn, and they lived outside of the camp. But my mother-in-law lived right in the camp herself, and she worked. Her father was killed at the Valdez mine, inside the mine, and then when he was killed, she had to move out of the camp houses. She was in one of the houses, so she had to move out.
So she was forced to move out, find another place.
Yeah, because he was the one that was, and her mother had died a lot earlier, so he was the one that was, you know, that was the reason why they had the camp and the camp house. And when he died, she had to move out.
So you had to be associated with the coal mine in order to live in a company house.
Yeah.
Somehow. So when she became a widow, she had to leave.
Yeah. Orphaned, I guess.
Yeah, orphan. That's what it sounds like. I think that's pretty much what I have here. Because I know, did they get their food, Robert, from the gardens as well? Did they grow their food and do back when you were a youngster?
We always had gardens, grew gardens, and we did a lot of that, and grew it ourselves, harvested ourselves, but like big enough for one family. It wasn't like great big gardens where we sold stuff, but yeah, we had a lot of that.
Okay. Right. Recreation, was there any types of recreation that the workers, the coal miners were involved in when you began in the coal mines, or even that you remember as a child?
Recreation was like the 4th of July picnics and everybody getting together for that, and we'd go up to Monument Lake and those type of things, and hunting was really big and still is big, and backpacking and mountain climbing, we did that quite a bit because it was fun to get out, just take my daughters up to Fisher's Peak and those type of things.
Yes.
You know.
Now, did you guys have the outhouses ever?
Yeah,
When you
we
were growing
had,
up, it probably
we were
wasn't
growing up, we had the outhouse. It was,
that was the thing.
yeah, in the summer I used to take the stick and run it around the little thing because of the bugs and the spider webs and watch out for snakes and,
Then move the,
yeah, when it got full, you had to
Move the
either
spot.
have somebody come in and clean it out or either dig another hole and put the outhouse somewhere else. And then, I remember like for Halloween, we used to go over and knock outhouses over. There was a lot of, I don't know if you remember that. That was one of the things they did. I don't know why we did it, but everybody did it every year. People would knock over outhouses during Halloween, but
looking for fun.
yeah.
Robert, is there anything that you would like to add to this interview and let these gentlemen know for history purposes, for something that we leave behind for the generations that come, and anything you think that's important?
I think what was important here was all the variety of people and the languages and all those and their traditions, which a lot of us adopted some of their traditions and they adopted some of ours, and because in those days, like well, we had Irish people, we had Italians, we had Spanish people, we had English people, Czechoslovakian people, Germans. We had the whole slew was here in this area. After the initial coal rush came in and all the people came into here, and it was fun. It was neat for us growing up. I don't know how the rest of them liked it, but as kids, we all liked each other and had good times with each other. But then when it changed, it seemed like for me that out of the fossil fuel, coal mining has got the brunt of the pollution, where oil and gas and those things don't have as much blame on them as coal does. For whatever reason, coal seems to be taking the brunt of the fossil fuel business. And I think that's about it.
Okay.